Hey, how's it going? This is Robert Plank from wwhwbook.com, and I want to give a quick shout out to the business plan answer man himself, Mr. David L. Brown. And I met him doing podcast interviews. I've interviewed over 600 people on my Apple iTunes podcast. And the reason why I was able to interview so many and the reason why I'm continuing to do so is because I follow a formula. Just think of how difficult it would be to hop in the driver's seat of a car if you every time you had amnesia about driving the car. You'd be fiddling around with, wait, what's the turn signal and where's the brake and where's the gas? And if you think about it, if you're in a hurry getting to work or the store or school or picking someone up or something like that, and you're late, you don't even think about what you're doing. You get in the car, you put on the seatbelt, you start the car, you put it in reverse, you open the garage door, you back out. You go through all these steps without realizing it. And somehow that makes it easier, right? Because then you can focus on the most important stuff. So while you're automatically, subconsciously driving, maybe you're thinking about the route you'll take to your destination. But then you do that enough, and then now you're not even thinking about the route you take to your destination because maybe you've taken this route so many times that your mind is elsewhere. And then your mind goes to what am I going to cook for dinner tonight, or what's on the radio, right? The more that you get better at things, the more that you figure out your checklist, your formula, your system, your template, then you can free up your mind to do other more fun things. And that's what the name of the game is here with this WWHW book. And I have a quick question for you to answer for me in a minute. So it looks like right now, thanks to people like David Brown, we are number 36 in marketing. We're number 1 in podcasting. We're number 2 in podcasts. And here's what I'm going to ask of you. I'm going to ask, are you a circle? Are you a square? Are you a triangle? Or are you a squiggle? And give me a second here to explain. Let me clear some stuff here. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. So if you have a piece of paper handy, this works better if you write this down on a piece of paper, but I'm just going to draw this on the screen for us. And what we're going to draw right now is, follow along with me if you can on a piece of paper. You're going to draw a circle, and then you'll draw a square, and then you'll draw a triangle, and then you'll draw a squiggle. And I made these in different colors for just for my own purposes. Like it's fun to think of, well, it's red, it's like you're stopped at the stoplight, you're about to go, and then blue is like the ideas, the concepts, and then yellow is like, well, you're close to finishing but not quite, and you need to be careful about the finer details, and then green is like you made it, right? You're at your destination now, you can really fly. But anyway, the colors aren't important, but what is important are these shapes: circle, square, triangle, squiggle. And when you write this down on your pen and your piece of paper, I think that one of these objects will really draw you in, and you'll think, well, yes, I'm a circle, or I'm a square, or I'm a triangle, or I'm a squiggle. So which are you? And there's no wrong answers here, but I think that you gravitate towards one or the other. And so what we can do is, let's say that you're a square, so you've drawn out these 4 symbols, and below the 4 symbols, I want you to write your symbol twice. Does that make sense? So we write all 4 of these symbols. You write a circle, a square, a triangle, and a squiggle. And then if you say, you know what, I think I'm a square, not square like in the 1950s, but you're like, well, the square shape appeals to me the most. Then you just draw a square, and then you draw a square again. And what does this mean? Well, you'll find out in my WWHW book that not everyone thinks exactly like you, but you do think like a lot of other people. And if you wrote that you're a circle, then you're a why sort of person. You're a listener, you're a problem solver. You want to know why these things have to happen. If you're a square person, then you're a what. And that means if there is action to be taken, if there is a problem to be solved, then you want to know about what's going to be done. You're more of an organizer, right? You're more of a perfectionist. So the why person was a listener, the what was an organizer, and then if you were really drawn into the how to aspects of things, then what this means is that you're like George W. Bush. You're the decider, right? You're a leader. You're the one that says, well, let's do this, this, and this. Now, what does the squiggle mean? Well, I'm hoping that you can already guess. Squiggle means that you're a little bit of a weirdo, but in a good way, right? So if you're a what if kind of person, this means that you're more of a creative type and you want to find new ways to do things. And so taking this test means that there's no wrong answer and you're allowed to take redos. But also, if you think about if you changed your mind about these shapes, now that you figured out that either circle means that you focus on why, square means you focus on what, triangle means you focus on how to, squiggle means you focus on what if. If you changed your mind, maybe that means that you're unhappy with your thinking style or your action taking now, right? Maybe it means that you're one of these, but you want to be more of a leader person, or you want to be more organized. So maybe there's a shape that you are now, and then the shape that you want to later be. Or maybe you might think, well, there's the shape that I think I am, but then there's a shape that this person would say that I am based on how we interact. And what that means is that, well, if you're a circle, maybe partner up with the triangle. If you're a squiggle, partner up with the square. So partner up or have different people on your team who don't think exactly like you. That way you can have those complementary skills. And this book, Why, What, How to, What If, will help you in appealing to all of these different people because not everyone thinks like you. If you only focus on the step-by-step way of doing things, then you're only going to appeal to about 24% of your audience, different percentages, and it's not evenly spaced out, but some percentage of the population is a why, some percentage is a what, some percentage is a how to, and some percentage is the what if. So there's that aspect of, number one, not everyone's like you. Number two, different people fall into one of these four buckets, but also number three, if you can position or if you can structure or arrange the sequence in which you teach things, whether it's a blog post, video, podcast, if you start with the why, you go to the what, you go to the how to, and you go to the what if, not only will you hit on each of the four types of people along the way, but this will also make for a very interesting inciting incident, starting a problem, and then leading to a resolution. So we can unpack this concept more in www.hwbook.com, but really give that some thought in that not everyone is like you, and the way to appeal to the masses and also be interesting and concise and action-packed and all that good stuff is to structure things in terms of why first, then the what, then the how to, then the what if. And real quick, to make this practical for you, if you're going to explain to someone how to sell items on eBay, you'd first say, well, here's why you'd want to use eBay in particular, right? Here's the problem that you have, which is you're low on money or you have junk sitting around the house, you want to get rid of it, you want money. And then you say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get an eBay account. We're going to look at other listings. We're going to create our own listing. We're going to look at bids. We're going to sell the item. We're going to ship it off. And you might see these different terms like bidding or reserve bidding or Dutch auction or something with the envelopes or what PayPal is. Just introduce people to all these concepts. And now that they're caught up, you say, now let me walk you through those steps I just talked about. Step one. Here's how to set up your eBay account. Step two, here's how to see what's selling on eBay. Step three, now let me show you the screens or let me show you the clicks or whatever on how to list your own auction and list all those steps so that way someone gets this nut cracked. And then you get to the end and you say, now what if you set up this eBay selling business? What's the next step for you? Maybe the next step is selling more stuff on eBay, or maybe wholesaling and drop shipping. Or maybe the next step is then get set up on other marketplaces like Etsy or Amazon.com. But you see now how we took something that on its own was boring, and on its own we weren't really sure how to get started with it. Like, do we say, well, how do I start? Do I list the history of eBay, or do I explain what auctions are? Well, no. Now you're clearly solving a problem. Here's why you'd want to do this. Here's what we're about to do. Here's how to do it. And now that you've done it, what are the possibilities? What if you did this? What new doors does it open for you? So anyway, we address that and more in www.hwbook.com. But for now, thanks so much to David L. Brown, who says, once again, this is a great book. The information walks you through the process. I highly recommend this to move your business forward. So to move your business forward, claim this book, www.hwbook.com. I'm Robert Plank. I'll see you at www.hwbook.com, and have a nice day.